This might be a little bit of a noisier environment because I'm in my room and I've got the fan going, but you should be able to hear me just fine. I was talking about how I get overly involved in other people's affairs because I start to overthink my relationships with them, whether that be romantically or otherwise. I kind of give them guidance they're not asking for, or at least I think it's guidance, advice, things they might not want to hear. And the reason I do that is because I do want to help these people in my life. I care about them and I want them to succeed. And I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I made. And I often get a rebellious attitude, kind of like how somebody would react to their parents telling them not to do something. So I guess my advice to others who have the same problem is to not give it and to kind of harness that indifferent attitude unless it's asked for, unless somebody asks for your advice. And that's the thing is, a lot of times people don't ask for my advice. Unless it has something to do with like cars. They know I'm well versed in my knowledge of automotive machinery. And so, yeah, I guess that would be the solution of this problem. But I kind of find myself repeating the same mistake over and over again. And I've been called a fence sitter before, someone who sits on the fence and doesn't really play on one team or the other. And the fact of the matter is I don't want to be playing the game. When there's conflict within a group of friends, I kind of try to stay out of it. And in doing that, I have a little bit of passion there, and it kind of mixes in with my inability to shut up when things are going on. And so what'll happen is there'll be some sort of conflict, and I won't choose a side, and I'll kind of put myself in the middle of things, trying to give advice to each party and orchestrate an outcome that I think would be right, but nobody really listens to the advice and then gets upset with me because they're mad at themselves or they're mad at the other party, and I'm just an easy target because I'm friends with both sides, or I'm not really in the game. That's something that I've struggled with and kind of fucks with me a lot, is because I don't really want everybody to be fighting. I don't like drama. I don't like bullshit and nonsense. But it happens. And by trying to help people, I get myself involved. And then I go kind of too far and I don't want to be involved. And then when that happens, everyone gets mad at me, when I'm not the source of any of these problems. It's just frustrating would be a good word for it. And I don't have a lot of patience. I guess that's not being 100% truthful. I do have a lot of patience up until a certain point. And when I hit that point, I either emphasize it a lot or I don't emphasize it at all. So I'll be patient and I'll give people the benefit of the doubt and kind of see things play through. But if I don't get the outcome I want, I'll either emphasize it, like, kind of in a fuck you manner, or I'll just won't react to it and kind of just let things fade out. I'll put little to no effort and try to resolve the issue, once I hit that point, because I think once I get to that point, it's just a matter of two different people that, for one reason or another, our souls aren't compatible and our wavelengths are too far apart and just not meant to be. And I think I've had that ability my whole life, but I've struggled with it in relationships with women because, one, I have a hard time letting go of comfort. I feel like I get addicted to someone else's presence. And two, when I see things not working out, I don't really want to end things or stop it because I just don't want to deal with the emotional side of it. I don't like dealing with emotions. I don't like dealing with all that because it's indefinable. There's no structure to it. It's just a bunch of feelings and things you can't define or really understand, and it's sometimes just feels like a waste of time. I know it's not, but that's how it feels like to me. Why should I have to be there and think about when someone else is feeling, when there's objective facts and logic that proves that they're wrong? Why should I be compassionate? I feel like nobody's ever been compassionate to how I felt. Maybe they have and I haven't realized it, or maybe they haven't, but again, that's how it feels, so it must be true, right? I don't really know the point of this. Maybe just I need to hear my thoughts out loud, and this is an experiment. But I kind of want somebody to hear this. I want somebody I know to hear this and listen to it and really pay attention to it. But in my head, I don't see that happening. And maybe I need to attract a different outcome or really kind of manifest that happening to get the result. But maybe that's not the result I want, and that's why I'm not doing it. I'm not sure. Life is something I've struggled with for a long time. And, this is a little bit off topic of what I was talking about, even though this whole thing is just a nonsensical ramble of how I feel. But growing up, I never really had... I was always doing things for myself. I never really had a support group, I suppose, especially in my younger years. I'm not going to get into it too much. See, that's the thing is, I value my emotions, and not just everyone can know how I'm feeling. Crying, for example, is something I feel it's really personal. And, it's kind of like how a lot of people, how they are with their sexuality is they're very reserved about it, and it's tough to get them to talk about it or to be in a sexual relationship with them. I mean, less so now than before. It feels like girls are just exposing themselves sexually left and right, which, take it as you will, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing for men either. But that's kind of how crying is for me. I've only cried in front of a few people in my life, and I regret some of those things. I cried in front of my ex-girlfriend, and now I feel like, just thinking about it, I feel like that was a mistake. Emotions are something I value a lot, and when people say things like, oh, normalize men talking about their emotions and this and that, we're the ones to normalize it. We're the ones that make that decision. It's nobody else's. And for me personally, I don't want the whole world knowing how I'm feeling, because that's exposing a lot. And these are the same, these are the same people who will ostracize you for how you're feeling. Why would I cry in front of a girl when my whole life I've kind of been picked on by women and kind of just really just messed with my whole life. I've had a lot of struggles with women in my life. Why should I expose that side of me? That's ammunition for using against me later. A lot of anxiety just talking about this right now. None of it makes sense. It's not on a clear path. Still gonna upload it. Maybe not. Might just delete these right after I'm done talking, but I wish things were a little bit calmer in my head. I feel like everything is going every which way and nothing is just kind of chill. I also wish I wasn't so dependent on others for my emotional needs. I kind of feel sometimes that having friendships is a weakness because I don't always see the benefit in having them. I enjoy my friends, and I know this is but I gotta look at both sides. Like, what do I gain from these friendships, these relationships? A lot of the times it feels one-sided. Maybe I'm destined to just be alone, kind of figure everything out on my own. I think a lot of people live like that, without interacting with others. Maybe that's how I'm supposed to be. I don't know. I enjoy having fun and being around others, but I don't like all the behind-the-scenes shit about it. I don't like how people react to me. And people talk shit about me and everything else. I've made mistakes. I haven't always been a good person, but I don't go around talking about others very frequently. And when I do, it's because I'm looking for advice. I'm looking on how to fix things and be a better person. It's not bashing the other party. It might come off as that because sometimes I have an inflated ego, but that's really not the point of it. I don't know. I guess I'll just end it here. No one's gonna listen to this whole thing. I don't really see the point of doing this either. Trying to find it, or why I'm doing it. Like, what led me to this thought journal thing? I don't know, maybe I'm too self-aware. I'm pretty good at seeing through other people's bullshit. Maybe I'm too good at seeing through my own. Anyways, I'll end it here. It's gonna be a 2-part video because one, I don't want to go in and edit the other one just because I'm recording this on my phone. I have to use iMovie, which is just a terrible platform for me. I don't like doing anything kind of editing on my phone Or I'd have to like transfer it over to my computer and then use an editing software. That just sounds like too much shit for something nobody's gonna listen to. And the other reason is I don't want to hear myself talk. So yeah, that was like 5 minutes of me trying to end this and it still hasn't ended. All right, well, have a beautiful life, whoever's listening. Maybe I know you, possibly. Maybe it'll only be one person, maybe it'll be a lot of people. Maybe this will go viral and I'll have 20 million views and then I'll really regret this decision. But yeah, that's it. I'll see ya.